Today's lesson is in the area of algebra. It's in the algebra domain, and there are lots of questions in the algebra domain. So I went in and chose the 4 problems that the most people miss, that we were farthest away from the norm. So the first question, if 2x plus 4y equals 10, which of the following expressions represents x in terms of y? Now, all that means is they want you to solve for x. And so if I take this equation, 2x plus 4y equals 10, and I solve it for x, that means I need to bring this 4y over to the right-hand side. So I would have 10 minus 4y, and then I need to divide everything by 2. So that means x would have to equal, and if I divide 10 by 2, I have 5, and if I divide negative 4 by 2, I will have negative 2, and I have a y. So I have 5 minus 2y, which is A. For our second question, this surprised me. I did not think this would be one of the most missed questions, but it was. It says the median of a set of 7 consecutive integers is 32. What is the greatest of these consecutive integers? And I think what may have thrown some people off is this consecutive integers. Consecutive integers, if we have 7 consecutive integers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if 32 is the median, that means the middle term, which means if this were a 32, you have 3 numbers to the right of it and 3 to the left of it. Now, consecutive numbers are like 4, 5, 6, 7. Or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So here, if we want consecutive numbers, it would have to be, to the left would be 31, 30, and 29, and to the right would have to be 33, 34, and 35. So they asked us what is the greatest of these consecutive integers, which would have to be 35. That's the greatest one we could possibly have. Next, for number 3, this one says at store A, a print job can be represented by T equals 50 plus 5p. T is time in seconds, P is the number of pages being printed. At store B, a job is represented by T equals 40 plus 7p. What is the maximum number of pages for which the amount of time will be shorter to print at store B? So, for store A, I'm going to use this, 50 plus 5p, and for store B, I'm going to use this, 40 plus 7p. And I want to know for which one of these will the maximum number of pages for which the amount of time will be shorter to print at store B. So we want the time to be less for this store B. Okay, so if I were to just solve this, if I subtract 5p from both sides, then I will have 40 plus 2p. And on the left-hand side, I'm left with this 50. Then I'm going to subtract 40 from both sides, and I will have 10 is greater than 2p. Well, then if I just divide each side by 2, then I end up with 5 is greater than p, or p is less than 5. So if I know that if I need the number of pages to be less than 5, don't choose 5 for your answer. It has to be less than 5. So I'm going to choose one less, which is going to be 4. And that could be what got people, if y'all solved an equation or an inequality like this and y'all ended up with 5, then y'all could have chosen, but 5 would be when they were equal to one another. Then on the last problem, this one says, for all real numbers where x is greater than 0, which of the following is equivalent to this complex fraction? Okay, x to the 20th divided by x to the 10th. Then that fraction is being divided by 1 over x to the 5th. Now, first of all, this may be easier if you write it x to the 20th over x to the 10th as a fraction divided by this other fraction. Because we can write it like this, and that's the same problem. And then if you remember from middle school probably, whenever you're dividing with fractions, you need to change it to remember keep, change, flip. you need to take x to the 20th divided by x to the 10th times x to the 5th over 1. Now, this, on the left-hand side, this part, x to the 20th divided by x to the 10th, when you divide with exponents, you just subtract your exponents. So that would just be x to the 20 minus 10 is 10. And then it's times x to the 5th. Now, when you're multiplying, you add your exponents. So you keep your base, and 10 plus 5 is 15. So my solution to this is just x to the 15th power, which is C. And now you will go and you will take the quiz that is just titled, it'll say Algebra/Barnes, and that is today's assignment. Good luck on your quiz.